Grace and peace. I'm Brian Musser, the Baptist campus minister at Drexel, and this is our weekly wrap up of the Peace and Power Bible study. Peace and Power is the peace of Jesus Christ to change your life and the power of the Holy Spirit to change the world. We do this Bible study Monday nights at 7 p.m. via Zoom. That's live, and then I do these weekly wrap ups each week so that you can get the content even if you aren't able to make the 7 o'clock Zoom call. This week we started a brand new series called The Good News. We could all use a little bit of good news right now. And the gospel, that word gospel, is actually the old word good news. And the gospel is good news for every person in every part of life. And over the next 10 weeks, we're going to be exploring how the gospel is good news for every person in every part of life. To start off with, we're going to look at this question: what is the gospel? What is the informational content that we need to share to have said we shared the gospel? What are the pieces, the bullet points, the ideas that are included in this word gospel? What is it that Christians believe? The core of our faith, the root pieces of what it means to be a Christian and a follower of Christ. Now, I'm going to teach this in a little bit different of a method than maybe what you are used to, because I am going to use teaching skills that I've acquired over the years of working on a university. I will care more about what you are learning than necessarily what I say. We are going to look at the gospel in a way where our intention, our takeaway, is that you have learned it. Quite often when we're dealing with the gospel in a church setting, the guy up front in the fancy clothes says the gospel, and the audience is only required to passively listen to it and affirm it in some sort of way, shake their head yes, that is the gospel, and they agree with it. And we know from education standards that passive listening is the weakest form of learning. It is the one that takes the longest to grasp the information. So we're going to look at other ways we can use learning to learn the gospel. You will have homework. You will be encouraged to either write things down or type things in a note in your phone or some other way where you are using your brain in different forms than just passive listening. So we're going to go through the gospel. We're going to go through the gospel. Can you recognize it if you hear it? If someone to add something or leave something out, would you know that? Would you be able to repeat it back to someone after they have said it? Would you be able to share it in your own words, even if you haven't heard it in a while? And then in an everyday sort of conversation, would you be able to come up with a unique metaphor to apply the gospel to those sorts of uh, ideas and topics? And also, would you be able to teach the gospel to someone else? These are all various stages of learning, and we're going to push ourselves to learn the gospel so well that we have increased which stage of learning we know the gospel on. Now, you may have realized that I said the gospel probably 20 to 30 times in the last 5 minutes and haven't defined what it is. That was intentional. The first thing we're going to do, and this will be for you to do in the next 5 minutes once this video is over, is to take out a piece of paper or open up a note on your phone or on your laptop and write out in your own words, what is the gospel? What are the basic propositional statements that make up the gospel? What do you have to say to have said, I have said the gospel? I have told you the gospel. What do you have to believe to say, I have believed the gospel? What is the information that the gospel contains? I'm doing this First of all, so that you start realizing that listening and hearing the gospel is a different level than writing it down in your own words. This may be easy for you. I hope so. This may be difficult for you. That's what I'm expecting. So many times we say we know the gospel, but we've never really been challenged to write it down in our own words. Now, in the next video, the video that follows this, we're going to go over what the gospel is and review what you wrote down to see if you were able to get the points of the gospel down in this. But for now, before that happens, I want you to take the time to write it down in your own words, either on a piece of paper or in some sort of electronic note. Okay? And I will see you soon. As always, there are 2 ways to join: live Monday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Zoom. All that information you can get by connecting with me, either in the comments or one of the ways mentioned in the description. Also, we do these weekly wrap-ups, so keep joining us either on YouTube or on my WordPress blog site. That information is also in the description of the video. I am trying to be as present on social media as possible. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, WordPress, YouTube. All those links are in the description. Thank you for joining me and hope to see you again.